provide the kickback for the free speech.
It was price.
You just have to provide their speech.
So, good morning. Today is February 1st, 2021. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners to order. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all and welcome. Wow, that was quick. All right, we'll move on to item 3. Any citizen desiring to be heard? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4. Consideration of possible action on approving minutes of January 29th, 2021.
I'll move with approve.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. The minutes are approved. Or accepted, or however that works. All right, item 5. Consideration and possible action to designate member delegate to ACOG Board of Directors, ACOG 911, Intermodal Transportation Policy Committee, and Garber Wellington Association Policy Committee. If I may, there are a few other appointments associated with ACOG that we probably should address this morning as well. There's a technical committee in the ITC, and there's another one. There's also a bicycle and pedestrian
I just
committee.
went by what was on their form.
I understand. So, but these are all committees that the county's supposed to have somebody on. So without, I mean, unless you guys want to go back and redo the agenda item.
I'm good with the way it
We're good.
reads.
Okay, so I'd like to go ahead. I'd like to address those as I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. And it depends on the sheriff on the 911 technical committee, because he's got the only appointments on that one. Not that.
Yeah, I think we have somebody.
Yes, sir. And so we'll start with the Board of Directors. Currently, the ACOG Board of Directors for Logan County has myself as the primary, Mike Pearson as the secondary, and Monty as the third. I would go ahead, Monty. You look like you want to say something.
That third place is really nice. I think Monty does a good job in third place.
He's a real prince. Way to step up, Monty. But no, actually, the way ACOG works with the urbanized areas and things like that, most of the topics have to do with South Logan County in District 2 and in District 1. Very little of it, like bicycle paths and sidewalks, are of interest to District 3. It has mostly rural roads, and I can certainly understand that, sir. So
That's exactly right.
if you want to maintain that position, I can certainly understand that. Would you like to take on the primary for the ACOG Board of Directors for us?
I will.
And I would be second if that's,
Was that a motion?
I think so, yes, sir.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? You'd like to say anything?
I appreciate the recommendation.
Okay. Cody. All right. The next one is the Intermodal Transportation Policy Committee. This is the committee that makes rules and such for how the money, the federal grant money, gets split up, and how they how they put together the number of points that you get for a project, right? So this is the committee that voted on weighting all of the transportation projects so heavily toward having bicycle paths and that if you didn't have a bicycle path or sidewalk in there, it didn't rate high enough to get any money. And so the first year they did that, Oklahoma City got half of the money because they had bicycle paths and sidewalks in there. And they had some that just were bicycle paths and sidewalk things that rated higher than bridges getting rebuilt, rated higher than the bridge in Guthrie getting rebuilt, which was, I mean, it was a sad deal. But anyway, this is that policy committee. Again, I'm the primary, Mike Pearson was secondary, and Monty was third. So,
You want to do it?
I'd like to take over secondary.
my.
Oh, Monty.
I'm good. Don't take in my district, I'm all right. You want to do it, Marvin? If so, I'll nominate Marvin as primary.
Well, I didn't really want to, but. So here's the thing, all of these committees meet on the same day.
You might want to look at the way, like that,
Oh,
just the way they
yes.
have it as a single delegate to those.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let me ask you, is there one of these committees you want to be primary on?
Not really.
Well, I'll just make a motion, we want Cody as primary on all of them. Seems how they meet on the same day, he's already there.
Right. Now, there's some technical committees that I'd like to
Okay,
discuss
okay.
as well.
Let's close
Okay,
that.
so Cody, if you all right with that?
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Okay. Now, I'd be happy to go to them as you first start and kind of help if you need some advice about the committee. I mean, we can't talk about what's best for the county,
Right.
but I could certainly offer some advice on the committee. Okay, now that we just talked about the Intermodal Transportation Policy Committee, there is a technical committee that meets, and that's where the city planners and the engineers and all those folks show up. And those are not on the same day. Currently, let me look here. Currently, I'm on that. As the alternate is vacant. What I would like for the board to entertain is a possibility, and she's sitting here, of appointing Lori Pierce as being our primary on that. One of the things that we'd talked with Lori about before she got transferred to District 2, and I haven't discussed this outside a board meeting, was that she would take on some of the responsibilities of helping us with some of the applications for funding, what's the urban, what's that?
Urbanized areas.
Yeah, there's a grant, anyway, that falls in that. It's one that Millie used to help us with.
Oh, you're talking about the CDBG grant?
Yes, yes. So those are also handled through ACOG as well. And that committee and having some knowledge in that area would help with CDBG grants for the entire county. I thought what we talked about earlier, and certainly up for discussion, is that Lori could possibly represent all the districts in those grants and help write those and help put those together if she's got the time.
I don't have a problem with it. There's just very few spots in Logan County that we qualify for CDBG anymore.
Right, I've noticed that too.
I don't have an issue with it.
Laura, you all right with that?
Yes. Thank you, Marvin.
You're so
It
welcome.
was a surprise.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The technical committee, is that part of ITPC or?
It's a committee that gives recommendations to the policy committee.
So Of the ITPC?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
that's all.
subcommittee of that,
Okay.
if you will.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Let me get back where I was. Okay, so. Lori Pierce, and there's an alternate on here that was also vacant. You want to be the alternate for that? Or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you these sheets when I get finished. Okay, Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee.
They want to put the sheriff on there.
Well, you know, now that you mentioned that, we used to have, there was 2 people on it. Mike Pearson was the primary, and Monty Piercy was the alternate.
But Mike made all the meetings, so I didn't have to go.
They didn't have any meetings, so.
My point.
That sounds like the committee to be on, Mike.
We don't have bicycle trails in District 3. We got goat trails and we got a few roads.
Right. Well, so whatever it's worth, Cleveland County didn't have a designee on it, so, you know, there's not a lot of money to be had there, is kind of what I'm getting at. So do we want to appoint somebody to that?
Cody Ellis.
Right. Is that a motion?
It was.
All right, I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, Cody, you're in. And leave Monty as the alternate?
Sure.
Sweet.
Appreciate it.
All right, Area-Wide Planning and Technical Advisory Committee. That currently Logan County has no designee on that. Looks like the designees are like city managers, planning managers, community development. Yep, mostly city manager types. Anybody want to fess up for that one?
No.
No? No? Laura?
I nominate Marvin Goodman.
We had no designee before and we didn't miss much, is all I'm saying.
I can't say it.
We don't have planning and zoning, so maybe that's why we didn't have a designate.
I don't know. There are a few. Nichols Hills didn't have one, but they had a planning and zoning, right? So, Macomb Park didn't have one. Oklahoma City had no designee. Piedmont had no designee.
Doesn't sound like a functioning committee.
It doesn't.
Did you have a motion?
I did.
Did you get a second?
I did not yet.
You motion that Marvin take over that?
Don't do it.
I second.
This is right, there you go.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No, I don't want to do it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. I just don't want to go against it. All right, so we'll put me down as that. Thank you, Monty. I appreciate the help, the support.
No problem.
All right. So now this one is kind of important. This is the 911 Board of Directors. Currently, we have myself as the primary, Mike Pearson is the secondary, and Monty is the third. This also meets the same time as the ACOG Board of Directors. There's about 4 meetings that go on all at the same time. All the boards of directors meet at the same time. The Garber Wellington Water Board, the 911 Board, the Transportation Committee, and the Board of Directors all meet at the same time.
So I'm assuming that I would take that role also?
I'm trying to get you to lean that way, yes, sir.
I will accept it.
So I have a motion that we nominate Cody, and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Would your alternates be the same?
I think Molly still wants to be the third on that, but if you want to be second,
No, I'm good.
then I will be the second. All right, and then this one is more the sheriff's deal. This is the 911 ACOG Regional Planning and Advisory Committee members, right? And we've got two in the county from the sheriff's department that's on that. Currently, the members are Troy Dykes, the undersheriff, and Alicia Knight.
Yeah, we'll change that to Mary Polly.
Mary.
Yes, Mary Polly, P-O-L-L-Y.
Okay. And
Is that a motion?
I don't know if I can make a motion from the gallery.
I'm not sure that, does that appointment come through the county or?
None of those others, other than what has actually come through this, in this manner before, so.
Right, well,
We
they gotta get there somehow, right? So the county has to, how do we do that?
This one for the sheriff hasn't come through this board, so I don't know.
The other ones that we've talked about, is the bicycle paths one?
Mhm. That form right there is the only official appointments to those four.
Right, that's what I'm kinda getting at. Their form is inadequate, like some of their meetings, but I'll leave that.
But yeah, we've never taken an individual on some of these before, like the bicycle and the technical committee, the area-wide planning. We've never had those as appointed through this process.
We can go ahead and do it, then if they need it, they need it.
I think, Marvin, what they did is they took those four and just plugged them into those others.
Sheriff, with your concurrence, the board would like to accept any nominations you have for the technical committee for 911. So what I understand is you'd like the Troy Dykes to be the primary, Mary to be on that member, Mary Polly.
Correct.
And with that,
I'll move.
I have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. There you go, man. All right. Any further discussion on item 5? Hearing none. Item 6.
I have nothing for 6 or 7.
Sweet. Item 8. Consideration possible action on consent agenda.
Of the items on the consent agenda, the only thing we have today is cash funds. Can I get you to sign? Oh, there. You sign too, please, and I'll type this out.
Can I cross out the mayor part?
Yeah.
So they should have forms for those other ones.
Never can. But I'll find out.
Okay. Thanks. You need both these signed?
Probably wouldn't hurt, then I can send them an original and me one.
All right. Because like that technical committee, the ITPC technical committee, they've given me a form to send that in before, but that was last year when I was,
Okay.
first they told me no, it had to be a county commissioner, and then I asked to see it in the bylaws, and then they couldn't really produce that, so they acquiesced. Thanks, sir.
Those CDBG, are those 50/50 or 80/20? Are they driving?
I'm not sure.
CDBGs, most of them is,
80/20.
80/20.
yeah,
I think it's 80/20.
yeah. The little REAP grants, they're like 50/50 kind of thing, yeah.
500, 500.
Always gets down confused with the land and water conservation grant deal.
On them CDBGs, you gotta go out and do a survey, how much people make, and yeah, it's a tough deal.
Especially if you don't touch the figures. Just throwing that out there.
Kind of tough when people's going knocking on the door and asking them, hey, what do you make a year?
And when you find people home that are actually working to make a living, you gotta go about after 5 p.m., 6 sometimes, catch them home.
And hope they had a good work day.
Most responses ain't none of your business.
Yes. Well, if you want your streets fixed, well, in that case. $2.98. We got property tax stuff tomorrow. Thought maybe this was gonna be a quiet year.
You know, Wayne said he had a couple of corrections.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Be here.
So what we got on consent?
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Sales tax. Oh, that's Jim. I was starting my palpitating there for a minute. So that all we're getting. Divided 3 ways, $500, so it's not gonna be good.
Chris, them kids eat all them donuts?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Sure did. By that night.
Did you make a motion?
I was gonna wait till you finish.
All right, go, sir. I'm done.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda items.
I second.
Have a motion and a second on consent. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, item 9, any citizen desiring to be heard? Going once, going twice? No. All right, hearing none. Item 10, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners. Mike?
The only thing I was gonna say the other day is, if y'all haven't been to the election board, they got the remodel job done in front, and what, it really looks nice.
Okay.
Did a good job.
Great. Do you know who did their remodel for?
I do not, but they done a good job, whoever did it.
Okay. I'll get over and look at that.
It does look really well. It does.
Maybe find out who actually did the work. Because here in a bit, we're gonna have to get some bids to move this wall and do some other things. We talked about remodeling our little conference room here to widen it out some, so we can get more socially distant. Yeah.
Well, that looks nice over there, I'll give them that.
Thanks, Mark.
That's all I have.
All right.
I have nothing at this time.
All right, I've got one question. We talked about this room over here in the 6-story building on the bottom floor, and my understanding is it's currently got stuff in it that we're gonna have to probably keep in there until the bottom floor abatement's done. So that begs the other question, right? Have we heard anything on the abatement?
I haven't yet. Things got slowed up because my understanding, what I was told, we had to pull the trustee help back because of the COVID issues that were happening at that time. So I don't know that they've got rescheduled yet or not.
So do I infer from that we still have stuff that needs to be moved over there before the abatement can start? Okay. And so only the good Lord knows about the diseases and plagues and pestilence. So until we can get that started back,
Right.
we're okay.
Till the abatement's finished, I don't think we can do anything on that first floor.
I agree with that, but we can't get the abatement started until we get stuff cleared out, right?
Right.
So they're still waiting on us.
I'll see what I can find out.
Well, I guess my next question would be, can we hire somebody to do that instead of relying on trustee work that we may or may not be able to take advantage of in the next 6 months?
Well, I think the biggest thing is what can be thrown away and what needs to be kept is probably the biggest issue
Right.
that we're running into.
So having somebody supervising that can provide that information.
Man, maybe I need to come and help you then. I say throw it all away. If it's laying there, apparently we don't need it.
We've been doing a lot of that. And there's a lot of boxes and papers and files and things that
Right.
are older than I am, some of them.
Well, I mean, everybody in the room understands how short we are on space and how much of a blessing it would be to have at least, 3 or 4 or 5 rooms in the bottom floor, abated and available for remodel use. And
So is the trustee still on lockdown? due to
No,
COVID?
yeah, we got them back using it again. It's just finding people that can go over there with them.
Can I go with them?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'll try to help you. I know we dumped it off on you and really, it ought to be on us too.
Well, I've got quite a bit on my plate as the sheriff.
we can, and I'll, as long as Monty and I don't talk to each other while we're doing that, I can help too, I think.
All right, I'll do it.
Yeah. Whatever help you need in that regard, Damon, just let us know. All right, that's all I have. Item 11, consideration possible action on adjournment.
I'll move we adjourn.
Second.
So moved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Monty was standing up.
He was headed for the door.